cafe anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
FF episode 1991. It's a palindrome. 1991. Or is that an onomatopoeia? I forget.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
As we get to 3-3 tomorrow. It's March 3rd. Who cares? I'm Mike Matthews. I have no hairs. But it's going to be 1991 today, 1991. And that was a year that had people having fun. That, namely me, because I was young.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And I had my first full-time job in radio. And I was playing a lot of
Mike's
Peter Cetera.
Daily
Oh, the Peter Cetera.
Podcast.
Lots of Peter Cetera of Chicago.
Yeah!
Who else? Whitney Houston, Michael Bolton. It was that era. It was, oh gosh. Spin Doctors. No, that was 92. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. And then U2 had Achtung Baby. I've been neglecting U2 in all these years that I've been talking about there. From the late 80s to the early 90s. Lots of U2. You had the Joshua Tree in around 86, 87. And then they did that Rattle and Hum album, like 88. And then Achtung Baby in 90. Dang! In 91, lots of big songs that were one, but we're not the same. Will we hurt each other? Will we do it again? You say... Love is a temple. Love the higher law. Love is a temple. Love the higher law. You ask me to enter and then you make me crawl. And I can't keep holding on to what you got when all you've got is hurt. You know, he wrote that. The guy, you know, U2, typically, they say that they write all the songs, the four of them, but it's primarily Bono and Edge. And it was written as the band was thinking of breaking up. They had it.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And it came from that and hanging out in Berlin just as the wall was falling, was coming down, and just having an interesting experience there. All right, so the podcast picture today, I will tell you right off the bat today, it is a wonderful photo of me in the snow. Because I finally got to see snow. It's been a long time. I used to go skiing as a kid, but haven't done it. I didn't want to do... Everybody does the lemming thing in the Bay Area where they go up to Mount Tahoe. Basil and I went to Mount Shasta with lovely lady friend. And he sat in the snow for a little bit and said, you know what? No, that's okay, Mike. Thanks, but no thanks. Don't like it. I got it. I got the tip, Basil. So, we had a great time up there, and I've talked about it off and on over the past couple of weeks, the trip. And I've actually, what I do on every trip I'm on, I just grab a bunch of local tour guide. You know, they always just, once you're there, all those publications, all those freebies, those freebie magazines and brochures, I grab a bunch of them. The thing is, I don't read them while I'm on the trip. I read them when I get home, and then it doesn't matter. Then it doesn't help me anymore. But, so what I've been seeing, what I find fascinating about the Shasta area that I did not know, Lake Shasta is basically a lake on top of a bunch of very big towns. And then there's that Whiskey Town Lake Whiskey Town, something like that. That was actually, there was a town at the bottom of the lake called Whiskey Town. They didn't build the town when the lake was there. First came the town, then the lake, just so you know. Yeah, they told them. And in one article I was reading, I forget which place this was, Kessel or something like that, in the Lake Shasta area. To make Lake Shasta, they dammed up, made a big old dam, and basically all the towns that were in this valley were flooded. Similar to Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Love that movie, and I lived in that area for a while in Alabama, in the Tennessee Valley and the Tennessee River, Mountain Man. We get together anytime Mother Nature's band. Something like that. Alabama song. So, but yeah, what happened was, so they told the people, the government came along, said, sell us your property, here's what we'll pay for it. I want more for my property. Too bad. Oh, this sucks. And then people were forced to sell, or some people just said, no, screw it, I'm gonna stay here. Try and flood me. And well, they flooded them, and they were either dead or got a boat and floated away and went, oops, that was a bad plan. Sometimes you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I hate that. But it's that damn thing called fate. And if any way you could get around it, cheat fate, tempt fate, tell fate to take a nap, go away, take a powder. But fate just keeps on happening, doesn't it? I don't know why I got so upset today. I was leaving work, and I usually try and access my emails, my work emails, and I couldn't because all of a sudden my company email wasn't recognizing my password. And I don't know why that really upset me. It was almost like I couldn't get into a party or a cafe, like a cafe anyway. They were keeping me out. And I maybe want to be in there even more. Isn't that a thing? Isn't that that's the whole, what the, not the MOGO, or the BOGO? The Pogo BOGO? No, it's the thing, fear of missing out, FOMO. Fear of missing out, FOMO. Excuse me. I'm drinking a lot of water these days, and I've decided to fight caffeine, but then I had a bunch of caffeine over the weekend, and today I didn't, and I got that wonderful headache. And I almost didn't do this podcast, and I know you would have been so upset. Tell me how upset you would have been. You can call me 336MM Daily. That's 3 + 3 = 6. MM as in Mike Matthews. Daily isn't what this podcast will try to be. Actually has been for 4 days. I'm quite impressed with myself. So yeah, people, it drives the human race. I find it fascinating that we want what everybody else has got. That explains Teslas to me. Everybody wants a dang Tesla. But then my lovely lady friend and I know somebody whose Tesla was very aggressively broken into and basically just thrashed. And it costs like a lot of money, a bunch of money to put it back together again. And the thing is, the Tesla is just a local status symbol, status statement here in the Bay Area. You have a Tesla and you think you're the coolest. You've kept up with the Joneses. Good for you. Clap, clap, clap. But the thing is, you've just got a car that runs on electricity. And yeah, that's a great idea. And when I was a kid, I thought, ooh, someday there'll be electric cars, and then all this gas that we're burning and all this smog I'm breathing will go away. But the thing is that it just doesn't work. I mean, for you, if I wanted to drive up to Shasta, I think we worked it out mathematically. It could get us there and back, but we wouldn't really be able to go sightseeing. It just, I don't know. I mean, I want Tesla to succeed. I just get really irritated when people jump on the bandwagon. And they don't think. They're just doing it because everybody else is doing it. All right, that's my little rant about that. Hope you enjoyed that rant. Hey, if you enjoy this podcast, perhaps you would also enjoy another podcast that I found out about. That I went, what? It's called Pinky the Pig Podcast. The Pinky the Pig Podcast. Every episode is 10 minutes, and they do it Monday through Friday. Sweet, kind, educational, and funny. And it is basically for kids, if you didn't guess. I found out about it because they sent it to the radio station I work for. And, What I also found very interesting about this Pinky the Pig podcast, the way they were promoting it, they sent this little card, it almost looked like we were getting a little birthday card or something. And it said, sitting in a circle around a speaker. Oh, the people that do this podcast envision children of all ages sitting in a circle around a speaker using the screens in their minds to interpret the dialogue. Audio only. Nothing to look at here. No screen time. And I really, that touched a part of me, basically. I was impressed by that. And I love podcasting. And I've always loved podcasting. I've been doing it for 11 years now. And it's because I love radio. I love the theater of the mind element. I love the fact that you just have your voice and you don't have to be distracted by visual stuff. That's why I find it hilarious, people trying to film while doing a podcast. They got the cameras going. To me, I'm like, what? What's that? No, you've just basically said that I am no longer going to use a phone and I'm going to use the little tin cans with the fishing string. Maybe that's not exactly what. Anywho, it just is ridiculous to me. How is that exciting in any possible way? So that is what I wanted to say about that, because creative people, I love it. One of the shows I really love, I've talked about it a couple of times on this podcast. Now, I say that, but I haven't actually watched any of the episodes of the latest season, is Doctor Who. And apparently they dropped a big bombshell last night. And had something to do with the fact that the Doctor, and I don't know, I'm giving you a spoiler here, but I have a feeling you don't watch the show because nobody I know watches it. So here it is. And this is the spoiler, and that is, we have known the Doctor has had certain regenerations. He has been played by William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, Tom Baker, Colin Baker. Oops, I jumped over Peter Davidson. And then there was the Sylvester McCoy, Patrick McGowan. Then there was when it got renovated and put back on the BBC, it was Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi. He's the uncle, by the way, of Louis Capaldi, that guy that sings that song. I never there's someone you love, and day breaks and a night falls. That guy. Then, now they have a woman. So when the Doctor became a woman, everybody was like, ooh, wow, that's crazy. That's edgy. That's ooh. But then it was revealed last night. Oh, Jodie Whittaker plays the Doctor now. That the Doctor was more than these guys that I just mentioned. The very first actor I mentioned, William Hartnell, apparently he wasn't the first. There was all these other doctors before that. The Doctor has been a bunch of people. A bunch. So that was like a big bombshell. And the Doctor's regeneration abilities come from some, I don't know. Did they even explain that? There was something to do with, Time Lords in general can regenerate, and it's apparently because of the Doctor. And the Doctor came from somewhere, and they extracted the Doctor's regeneration ability. All right, enough of that sci-fi stupidity. Sometimes it's not just the winter blues. For many people, mood-related disorders are common this time of year. Although, we're going to get more sunlight soon. Woohoo! At the end of the week, they're going to do the thing. Wait a minute. Maybe that's not good, because I get up early, and when I leave the house, it's dark. Oh, yeah, it's going to be lighter now? Is that the deal? So, an estimated 10 million Americans suffer from seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, a condition that shares many characteristics with depression, but which cycles with seasons. Another 10 or 20% of people report mild cases of SAD, which can be compounded by feelings of nostalgia and grief that come during the holiday season when it's darker outside and there's weak afternoon sunlight. And people get depressed just seeing a Christmas tree on the side of the road. My lovely lady friend and I had a discussion about that. Loss of energy, oversleeping, changes in appetite, irritability, and a loss of interest in socializing are among the most common symptoms. Major depression is a more serious mood disorder that affects one's ability to handle daily activities. Both are common problems among older adults, but are not just a normal part of aging. Things like the death of a loved one, retirement, or dealing with the... See, that's the thing. Everybody wants to retire. Everybody wants to stop working. But then when they retire, a lot of people get into this. They get depressed. Or dealing with a serious illness. It can become unmooring. That's why it's important to recognize changes in your own or partner's outlook and routine. Treatment varies by case, but it is possible in every instance. It's important to talk to someone, whether it's a healthcare professional, a family member, or a friend. There you go. So you're not alone. What? Oh. Okay. Well, this article suddenly got very difficult to read because they split the page and I don't know what's happening. So I guess basically summing up there, don't be afraid to seek help if you are feeling down. That's the truth. You will get help and you will get better. What's this sentence here? Most of the time when people talk about their health, they're really talking about their unhealth. That's because by and large, we measure health from a deficit perspective. Huh? How far away from your optimal health you are as a result of illness, disease, or injury. That's true. Yeah. When we talk about health, we're talking about, that thing that I am when I'm healthy. That health. And yet that tells only a small part of the story, and that's where the idea of quality of life comes in. Rather than using morbidity as a yardstick, quality of life is a multi-dimensional concept that incorporates physical, mental, and social indicators to give a broader picture of overall health. For individuals, that can mean taking into account things like your mood, energy level, and spiritual satisfaction. The goal for a truly excellent quality of life is to ensure your physiological health is strong, but also that you live a lifestyle that promotes social, emotional, and cognitive stability. And I guess was January was International Quality of Life Month. It's important to take stock of your health from this holistic perspective. It can not only help determine risk factors for disease like body mass index, which, by the way, that body mass index thing. How is anyone ever supposed to attain that, right, Basil? It's ridiculous. But I guess, you use it as a gauge and, try for the best. Also, there are other determining risk factors for disease like inactivity and smoking. So just keeping that all in mind. All right, I'm going to get rid of that article. Thank you for listening to the show. Let's say hi to some people outside of Cafe Anyway, located... Sorry, I got the coronavirus. Oh my gosh, it used to be that joke from the what was it? Zoolander? I got the black lung, Dad. Pa.
I think I'm getting the black lung, Bob.
I got the black lung. Well, now it's not that funny anymore to mention coronavirus. Let's say hi to some people. Hi, Mom. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing?
And to disgruntled fiddle player, tell you what.
What?
If anybody near me coughs or sneezes, I'm going to grab that pig, Pinky the pig you were talking about, And I'm going to shove it in their face. I'm going to, you get the hell out of here. I'm going to give you some swine flu.
That was a beautiful story. Look who else is here.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer. Have some right now. Oh, boy. I'm pouring the root beer. I'm pouring it now. Pouring it. Pouring in the root beer. Oh, boy.
And I should drink it?
Yeah.
Or what are you going to do?
I'll cut you.
All right, and then I better drink some. Here we go. Okay. Well, I hope this podcast has satisfied you in some sort of way. Next show, it's going to be Matabrutta Vega Valentino and Bison Bentley. I strongly suggest don't check your email. Maybe I won't ever log back into my company's email. We'll see how long I'm working then. Or retiring early, if that should happen. Tell me what you think about all that. 336MM Daily. 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM is a Mike Matthews Daily. As in what this podcast will try to be.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.